Hey everyone, welcome. It was just a couple of short weeks ago when I had the chance to look at this particular bike. This is the Diamondback Crimson Hardtail from Sportchek, and the conclusion for that video was that this bike is trail ready from the get-go. So you grab your proper shoes. I have my 510s here, and even those flat pedals are quite decent, so go out and ride. But Sportchek also has a lower priced version of this. It's called the Highline. You see my my son Jay riding it right beside me. Well, hey. So today we're gonna take a look at that Highline, and we're riding version 3.2 here. We also have a version 3.1, and let's see if this is trail worthy. Let's see what you guys can expect from a bike like that. And we're gonna start with, I guess, the frame and the components, because frame is new for 2026.
And the new frame is very similar to the one of the Crimson. The geometry numbers specified are pretty much the same. 66-degree head tube, the 75-degree seat tube, and the same 430mm chainstay length. I really like the two-tone metallic gray finish of the Highline 3.2, and you can see that cables and hoses still run through the frame. You have the two bolts here for a bottle cage, and just like the Crimson, you have ports for a dropper post, but the Highline doesn't have a dropper post installed from the factory, just an aluminum seat tube and the same comfortable WTB Volt saddle. But you do have a quick release seat clamp, so you can raise or lower the seat post as needed. Cockpit is built around the same 760mm handlebar, and here you'll see the same Diamondback lock-on grips. Make sure you rotate them a bit forward for the best grip. Love to see the same Shimano MT200 brakes. This is a 2-piston caliper paired with 180mm rotors. Suspension is provided by a Suntour X1 fork. This is 120mm travel, but this is an air fork just like the RockShox, and it does provide you with a damper adjustment here at the top and a rebound adjuster at the bottom of that right leg. But if the Crimson used boost spacing and through axle front and rear, this Highline uses QR skewers front and rear, and that means you have 135mm spacing in the rear, and up front you have 100mm spacing. So wheels are different. They're still built around Shimano hubs. They use the same WTB tubeless ready rims with 30mm ID, and I'm glad to see that they kept the same Maxxis Recon tires, 29er 2.4. These are very capable trail tires. And I left the Shimano CUES Drivetrain for the end because just like the SLX on the Crimson, this uses one of the latest technologies from Shimano called LinkGlide. This is a 1x11 speed drivetrain, and you can see the 30-tooth chainring installed on the same 165mm crank arms. It uses a threaded bottom bracket for ease of service, and in the back you have an 1150-tooth cassette that provides a good wide range and a clutch derailleur.
All right, so now that we got all those techie details out of the way, you can see that the bike should perform well on the trails. Indeed, if you were talking about climbs, the frame is very similar to Crimson. You have fairly steep seat tube, you have good gearing in the back. You should be able to climb pretty much anything. Very, very similar to Crimson, no question about that. When you're going on flatter terrain, you're definitely going to enjoy that flushness of the air fork. You have 2.4 tires, so pretty big volume. They should all give you a nice, comfortable ride. But when you are to point this downhill, like serious downhill, you might want to drop your seat since you don't have a dropper on this bike. And it's rowdy terrain like this, when you start to feel the limitations of the entry-level fork, only 120 millimeter, that shouldn't be a problem. But the fact that it's not as stiff for terrain like this. That definitely doesn't mean that this is a bad bike. However, it shows you the limitations of components used for one of these more entry-level bikes. So what do you think, Jay? What's your experience riding the Highline 3.2 today? What would you say?
Well, it's been a lot of fun. I am missing the dropper post, but I would say I'm especially impressed by the little fork on this. It feels really soft off the top and smooths out a lot of the chatter from the trail. And all in all, the components are pretty similar to the Crimson, which was also a great bike for riding the trails around here. Yeah, overall, I'm very impressed with this bike for what it is.
So with this redesign in 2026, I think Diamondback has some great options for you know, entry-level mountain bikes for sure. They have a bit more advanced in 3.2. The Highline, you want to just be really serious about riding mountains, I would definitely recommend the Crimson. If you guys haven't seen that video, we'll make sure to link it in the description of this one. So what do you guys think about these new hardtail from Diamondback? Do you like the Highline? Do you like the Highline 3.1 or 3.2? What about the Crimson? Do you have any questions for us? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And until next time. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that bike can do them all, man. As long as you have the right person on the job. Ah! And I should have shifted a gear here. I made it. Here we go. Cheers, guys. Cheers.